Some shows don't need a celebrity narrator to introduce the show, but this show does. In a world filled with endless opportunities, why would two men who have built 13 multi-million-dollar businesses altruistically invest 5 hours per day to teach you the best practice business systems and moves that you can use? Because they believe in you, and they have a lot of time on their hands. They started from the bottom, now they're here. It's the Thrive Time Show starring the former U.S. Small Business Administration's Entrepreneur of the Year, Clay Clark, and the entrepreneur trapped inside an optometrist's body, Dr. Robert Zillner. Two men, 8 kids, co-created by 2 different women, 13 multi-million-dollar businesses.
We started from the bottom, now we're here. We started from the bottom, and we'll show you how to get here. Started from the bottom, now we're here. We started from the bottom, now we're here.
Mr. Clyde started from the bottom, and now we're at the top, teaching you the systems to get what we got. Colton Dixon's on the hooks, I break down the books. Z's bringing some wisdom and the good looks. As the father of 5, that's why I'm alive. So if you see my wife and kids, please tell them hi. It's the CNC up on your radio, and now 3, 2, 1, here we go.
We started from the bottom, now we're here. We started from the bottom, and we'll show you how to get here. Started from the bottom, now we're here. We started from the bottom, now we're here. We started from the bottom, now we're here.
As you know, Thrive Nation, most of us just have 24 hours in a day. Somebody out there might argue and say, no, I've got more, I've got less, or man, my day flew by. My every day just seems like it's flying by. Man, time is really flying. Man, when you're busy, time flies fast. You hear a lot of those kinds of statements, but at the end of the day, I think we all agree, we have 24 hours per day. And so it's very important that you and I learn to script our day. So what I'm going to do on today's show is I'm going to pull up my actual calendar, and we're going to look at my schedule. We're going to critique my schedule. We're going to say, is this the right schedule? Is this the right schedule for me? Is it the right schedule for what I want to do? And I encourage everybody out there every single day, do this exercise every single day if you want your life to be successful. You got to audit your day every day and ask yourself, where did the time go? But not just like in a funny way, like, oh, where did the time go? But really, let's look at it and say, where did the time go? This is very important that you learn to script your day and block out time for what matters. And here to break it down is the founder of Bunky Life, David Frazier. Welcome on to the Thrive Time Show. How are you, sir?
Doing great, Clay. Thanks for having me.
All right. So let's look at the schedule here. In my schedule, my first client interaction or my first interaction with business is at 6 a.m. Now, I do stuff before that, but nothing's on the schedule before 6. I'd like to ask you, because I'm not saying that you agree with me on this. I'm just asking you, with your schedule, when's the first thing of the day that you like to schedule? What's the first thing on your schedule typically?
I don't like to have anything really before 8 o'clock personally.
Yeah.
So I get up usually at 5, but I like to have that time to be like just focused. Nobody can interrupt me time.
Yep.
So usually it's like, for me, it's like 5 to about 7. Then the kids get up. I hang out with them for an hour or so. Get breakfast going for them, and then 8 o'clock is my first thing. Actually, it's 8:15 is my normal first thing that starts.
Now, there's a guy I know who's very wealthy. He's actually a billionaire. He's spoken at one of our conferences before. I'm not going to mention his name on today's show because I don't have his permission to share his schedule. But one thing that he does is he works from 10 a.m. to 2. And I remember meeting him, and I'm going, what? You work from 10 to 2? Now, he's not the kind of guy running around telling you he's a billionaire. He just is. And multiple people are like, dude, you've got to meet this guy. He's one of the most successful people in your area. You should meet him. So I met him one day, and just to put a little meat on the bone, he has a logistics company. Okay. So he's in charge of shipping things from point A to point B. And he owns a lot of the assets on which shipping occurs. So the big railroad cars, he owns those things. And he only works from 10 to 2. And I remember just being blown away, David. I said, well, what do you do before 10? He says, well, every day I get up, I really get into the Bible, then I throw the weights around. I lift weights for at least a couple hours every single day. Love doing that. Lift the weights. I like that. Take a shower, get to work at 10. I said, what do you do at 10? He says, we have a daily huddle, and I make sure that each one of my account reps, I have an East Coast account rep, a Midwest account rep, and a Pacific account rep. And I want to make sure that they each made at least 100 calls to their territories. and I want to know how many deals they closed. And then we listen to the calls, we train on the calls, and then at 11, they get back on the phone. And I said, then what do they do all day? He said, well, between 11 and 5, they make calls. I said, what do you do? He's like, I walk around making sure they're on the calls and answer any questions they might have. I said, what do you do at 2? He says, well, I go golf. I said, every day, every single day you golf at 2? He's like, yeah. I mean, or at least I have the ability to. Sometimes I'll go and, hit the ball for a few holes and then I go back and do something else. But I like to go, at 2:00, golf a little bit, maybe get a few round, a few holes in. I said, you golf 18. He's like, nah, just, I don't know, 9 holes, something like that. And then I go home, hang out with my family. I'm going, this is your what? And it was so mind rocking to me that here's a guy, he's been in self-employed for, 4 decades. He's a billionaire and he works from 10 to 2. I would just say this is that, whether somebody likes that schedule or whether they don't agree with that schedule, the point is, that's the schedule that he's designed. And I just think that most people are not very intentional about how they design the day. And so for those who are watching online, they can look at my schedule that I have pulled up here and see how we have it blocked out. But, my next meeting after my 6 a.m. on Monday is a 7 o'clock coaches meeting I work with our consultants. And then 8 o'clock, I meet with our elephant in the room, our haircut chain. I meet with those managers. At 9 o'clock, I then meet with all the team members, and every hour of my day is blocked out. Could you comment on that? Why is it important for people out there that are wanting to gain ground and traction that they actually block out time for what matters?
Well, the reality is if you don't get the big things, the big important things in the schedule, it's just going to get filled up with little menial things that just kind of fill up the day. So if you don't have the big 4 to 5 important things you need to get done in this calendar, they just don't tend to happen because they're important but not urgent. And so everything that's urgent is going to interrupt the important things that aren't urgent. So, for example, when I wrote a book, I would just schedule that time. I actually just spent 2 weeks and I just went in the office from, 6 to 12 every day and just worked on the book only. And I was able to get an entire book written in about 2 weeks. So if you don't do that, like that would have just not magically happened. I would have just found time to do that if I hadn't have just scheduled the time.
John Maxwell, who we've had on our show multiple times, this is the best-selling author of the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. He once said, the secret of your success is largely determined by your daily agenda. And so, today in my life, I have a contract that I need to get signed and back to a vendor today. It has to happen. I have to get a contract signed and back to a speaker. It has to happen today. I have to make sure we onboard 2 new employees today. And I could go on and on listing the things that I have to do today. But everything that I have to do today is in my schedule, which requires me to say no. So just before we hopped on today's show, we had an internet connection issue here. So I had to reset the internet and reset the Zoom and do all the things I have to do behind the scenes. And someone said, could we talk? And I go, nope. Appreciate you. I'll grab you when I'm free. But if you're not careful, like you said, those little got-a-minute meetings and those little interruptions throughout the day will really perpetually distract everybody. What tips would you have for somebody out there who's made a schedule, they've actually taken the time to design their day, and they find themselves being perpetually interrupted?
Well, I struggle with myself, so I'm not coming from a position of a guru, but I think it just train the no muscle. Have the no be your instinct to any interruptions. Just like, no, can't do it, and don't feel bad about that. And so that trains not just yourself, but also trains the people that are trying to interrupt you to go, okay, I'm just gonna have to schedule that time. If I need to get Clay or Dave's time, I'm gonna need to make sure that I plan out my day to get their time. So, like for example, anyone can book a meeting with me. It's pretty easy to just click on this little link and boom, you got a meeting in my calendar, and then there's designated times for that. And that if I say to someone, hey, just book a time here, it puts the onus on them to get their thing accomplished, and then gets it off of my interruption. It can't interrupt me because I've already scheduled that time.
Now, for people out there that say, man, just where would I even find the time to make my schedule? I know for me, Dave, that's a big important thing that I do before 6 a.m. every day is I look at my life, look at my schedule, look at the things I want to do, and I block out time to get things done. I don't just drift into a productive day. I script out every single day. I like to do my scripting for my schedule. I like to do it in the morning. I like to do it between 4 and 6. I just script out my schedule, block out time for what matters. Do you have a specific time that you find is most effective for you to block out your schedule?
I find the night before, actually, personally, but I've tried both. And for me, the night before kind of works because then I feel like I'm kind of thinking about it while I'm sleeping and maybe pre-solving some of those problems a little bit. But I think it doesn't matter as long as you also have to have time in your schedule to do the scripting of the time. Does that make sense? So as long as it's in the schedule, it'll happen.
The other pro tip on time management is you actually have to have one calendar. I find a lot of entrepreneurs that are highly motivated, they have a calendar for their home, for their personal life, a calendar for work, for their business life. Calendar for home, for their personal life, and a calendar for work and their business life. And then they have one more calendar for the men's basketball league they're on, and they have another calendar for the football schedule, and they have another calendar. And then what happens is they keep missing things. They keep unintentionally missing or skipping things. They end up being absent at some of the most important events of their lives. They want to be at their kid's game, but they put it in the calendar for the wrong date. So just today, my wife reached out to me and she said, hey, April 4th, I need you to block out in your schedule. So April 4th, I need you to have it blocked in your schedule that you need to be doing ABC 1, 2, 3. So I blocked it out on my one schedule. Could you talk about that, the importance of having one cohesive schedule as opposed to multiple schedules?
Yeah, so for me, that's been killer. Super important. And the cool thing about it is if you use Google Calendar, you can have all the different layers, but it's still one calendar. So you can see, I just want to see all my family stuff. I just want to see all my work stuff. Just whatever. And it's worth paying a nerd to do that for you if you're not technically inclined, because the multiple calendar thing is going to bite you in the butt every single time.
It absolutely is. Now, with the limited time that we have today, I want you to share with people about bunkylife.com. It's a product that we talk about often on this show, at least once a week. I would describe it as a bolt-on bedroom. I would describe it as a cabin that doesn't require pulling a permit. I would describe it as a great way to add on extra square footage to your house conveniently and affordably. But how would you describe bunkylife.com?
So if you check out our website, we've got small log cabin kits called bunkies that can be easily built in a weekend without needing a permit or a second mortgage. Ultimately, we help families create extra space for meaningful connection. That might just be, for a getaway or have guests come over, your extended family come and stay. Maybe it's a teenager hangout or an escape for the parents, or maybe a home office. So it's flexible, but it's extra space. And we're able to coach our clients to build it themselves. So far, every single person that's tried has succeeded, and to build it in 1 to 3 days, or you can have it built for you. And they're really aesthetically pleasing, kind of solid wood, delightful cabins that really anybody can benefit from if you have property.
What kind of budget range are we talking about here to buy a bunkylife.com product? What kind of a budget range are we talking about?
So our kits probably range from about $6,000 delivered to most people's house across North America to about $20,000.
Great. And that's bunkylife.com. David Fraser, thanks for fighting through the internet jackassery today. I know the connection's been kind of odd, but I really do appreciate you, sir, and we'll talk to you next week.
Yeah, likewise, Clay. Thanks for your time.
Take care. Bye.
Hi, I'm Ryan Wimpy.
And I'm Rachel Wimpy, and the name of our business is Tip Top Canine.
Our business is a dog training business. We help people with behavioral issues and teach their dog how to listen. When I was learning to become a dog trainer, we didn't learn anything about internet marketing or advertising or anything at all. Just dog training. And that's what's so great about working with Clay and his team, because they do it all for us.
So that we can focus on our passion, and that's training dogs. Clay and his team here, they're so enthusiastic. Their energy is off the charts. Never a dull moment here at Thrive.
We've been working with Clay and his team for the last 5 months, 2 of which have been our biggest months ever. 1, our biggest gross by 35%. Clay's helped us make anything from brochures to stickers, new business cards, new logos, scripts for phones, script for email, script for text message, scripting for everything.
How I would describe the weekly meetings with Clay and his team are awesome. They're so effective. It's worth every minute. Things get done. We'll ask for things like different flyers, and they're done before our hour is up. So it's just awesome, extremely effective.
If you don't use Clay and his team, you're probably going to be pulling your hair out, or you're going to spend half of your time trying to figure out the online marketing game and producing your own flyers and marketing materials, print materials, all the stuff like that. You're really losing a lot as far as lost productivity and lost time. Not having a professional do it, it has a real sense of urgency and that actually knows what they're doing when you already have something that's your core focus that you already know how to do.
You would also be missing out with all the time and financial freedom that you would have working with Clay and his team.
We would recommend Clay and his team to other business owners because they need to be working on their business, not just trying to figure out the online game, which is complex and changing daily. So no one has a marketing team too. Most people don't. They can't afford one, and their local web guy or a local person that they know probably can't do everything that a whole team and a whole floor of people can do in hours and not just weeks or months. There's a definite sense of urgency with Clay and his team. I used to have to ride other web people, really ride them to get stuff done, and stuff is done so fast here, and there's a real sense of urgency to get it done.
Some shows don't need a celebrity narrator to introduce the show, but this show does. In a world filled with endless opportunities, why would two men who have built 13 multi-million-dollar businesses altruistically invest 5 hours per day to teach you the best practice business systems and moves that you can use? Because they believe in you, and they have a lot of time on their hands. They started from the bottom, now they're here. It's the Thrive Time Show starring the former U.S. Small Business Administration's Entrepreneur of the Year, Clay Clark, and the entrepreneur trapped inside an optometrist's body, Dr. Robert Zillner. 2 men, 8 kids, co-created by 2 different women, 13 multi-million-dollar businesses.
We started from the bottom, now we're here. We started from the bottom, and we'll show you how to get here. Started from the bottom, now we're here. We started from the bottom, now we're here.
Mr. Clyde started from the bottom, and now we're at the top, teaching you the systems to get what we got. Colton Dixon's on the hooks. I break down the books. Z's bringing some wisdom and the good looks. As the father of 5, that's why I'm alive. So if you see my wife and kids, please tell them hi. It's the CNC up on your radio, and now 3, 2, 1, here we go.
We started from the bottom, now we're here. We started from the bottom, and we'll show you how to get here. Started from the bottom, now we're here. We started from the bottom, now we're here. We started from the bottom, now we're here. We started from the bottom, and we'll show you how to get here. Started from the bottom, now we're here.
Light that spark, Fire Nation. JLD here, and welcome to Entrepreneurs on Fire, brought to you by the HubSpot Podcast Network with great shows like Business Made Simple. Today, we'll be breaking down the proven processes and systems that you need to implement to build a time and financial freedom creating business. To drop these value bombs, I brought Clay Clark and Ryan Wimpy into EO Fire Studios. Clay is former U.S. SBA Oklahoma Entrepreneur of the Year, founder of several multi-million-dollar businesses, and Amazon best-selling author. And today, Fire Nation, we will be talking about quality leads, getting turnkey marketing systems that will get you those leads. We'll talk about the irresistible offer and scale and grow exponentially once you've nailed that, and then hitting the repeat button, and so much more when we get back from thanking our sponsors. Looking for a place where you can experience live interactions with your audience? Then Speakeasy is for you. I'm loving creating daily content on Speakeasy, and I know you will too. Visit getspeakeasy.com to download the app and go live today. Success Story, hosted by Scott D. Clary, is brought to you by the HubSpot Podcast Network, the audio destination for business professionals. Success Story features Q&A, keynote presentations, and convos on sales, marketing, and more. A recent episode on how to protect your business in times of crisis is a must listen. Listen to Success Story wherever you get your podcasts. Ryan, say what's up to Fire Nation and share something that you believe about becoming successful that most people disagree with.
What is up, Fire Nation? I'm Ryan Wimpy with Tip Top Canine. One thing about being successful, it has absolutely nothing to do with your passion. You may have to put that on hold to create scalable, repeatable systems in order to succeed. Do not focus on the passion.
Well, Fire Nation, you need to be excited about today because as I mentioned in the introduction, we're talking about proven processes, proven systems that will help you build time and financial freedom, creating your business. And it's not just Ryan on the mic, but we have Clay Clark on the mic. And this is actually the first time I've had a guest in my 3,700 episodes crack double digits because this is Clay's 10th appearance on Entrepreneurs on Fire. So Clay, let's start with you, brother. Fire Nation wants to know where we get quality leads. How can we create turnkey marketing systems that produce quality leads, brother? Take it away.
Well, when I met Ryan Wimpy here of Tip Top Canine, this was a guy who was passionate about dog training, and he really knew how to sell well if he got quality leads. And so if you're listening out there right now and you have a great product or a great service and you just need more quality leads, what we have to do, and I do this with every single client we work with, we have to identify what we call a three-legged marketing stool. What is the most effective way? Not the only way, but what is the most effective way? Not what are all the ways, but what are the three most effective ways to generate leads for your business? And so for Ryan, we identified that search engine optimization was absolutely very important. The second area we discovered is that social media marketing was very important. And the third area that we discovered was this thing called the Dream 100, which Chet Holmes, the best-selling author of a great book called The Ultimate Sales Machine, Chet Holmes, a great author, the late great business consultant. It's called the Dream 100, where Brian needed to get all of the veterinarians, all of the dog groomers in his local areas to refer him. And since we implemented the search engine optimization, domination, the social media marketing, and the Dream 100 system, Tip Top has now grown from one location that was, I would say, maybe doing well to now 17 thriving locations all across America. And I would predict by the end of 2022, we'll probably end the year at 21 to 22 territories.
Wow. I mean, that is intense stuff. Ryan, like when you were going through this, were you like, oh my God, this just totally makes sense. I've been like going a million miles an hour in a million different directions and not getting quality leads. I'm not putting words in your mouth. I'm just asking you, was this happening? And how did what Clay really structured for you change things?
Yeah. So as far as the search engine, definitely helped. We had good map reviews, but we weren't doing those other three. I wasn't implementing a Dream 100. We weren't going out and seeing people. And so if I was getting in front of people, I had a sales coach before. Clay's a business coach, and that's why I found him. But I had a sales coach, so sales are doing good, but I only had so many of them, right? So it doesn't matter how good you are if you're not getting enough leads. Right.
And one thing I want to also double down on, Fire Nation, that book that Clay talked about, The Ultimate Sales Machine, fantastic. You must read it. In fact, I'm good friends with Chet's daughter, Amanda Holmes, and she just released the updated version of that book with, of course, all of Chet's genius in there with updated to, the 2022 version. So that book just came out. So definitely worth a read in all the different areas. And Clay, I want to talk about irresistible offers. We need to develop an irresistible offer for our first time customers. Why and how do we do this?
Okay, well, first off, if anybody listens right now and you go to thrivetimeshow.com/EOFire, that's one irresistible offer, thrivetimeshow.com/EOFire, or you can go to tiptopcanine.com. I'm just giving you two examples. And let me throw in a third example. Why don't you go to shawhomes.com, shawhomes.com. So Shaw Homes is a home builder that I've helped to grow from, check this out, from $16 million a year of sales to $170 million of sales. So from 16 million to 170, 10 times, more than 10 times, almost 11 times growth. And we've done that in less than 4 years. Tip Top Canine has gone from one location to 17. And then if you go to thrivetimeshow.com/EOFire, you can see that I do these free consultations. And people say, why do you do a free consultation? Well, frankly, it's for my mental health because JLD, you have great listeners who listen to your show and they reach out all the time to want to attend a workshop or they want to schedule one-on-one consulting and they want to see if we're a good fit. And your listeners are wonderful because they're what I call diligent doers. They're people that actually want to pursue their goals and turn their dreams into reality. However, people that don't listen to your show, some people, at 3 a.m. after 3 adult beverages, they fill out the form just to see what happens. Not your listeners, but other people do that. And so what you want to do is you want to make an offer so hot that the super intoxicated guy at 3 a.m. fills out the form and your ideal and likely buyer. So at Tip Top Canine, the first dog training lesson is only $1. Now, their average ticket, Ryan, how much is the average ticket if someone decides to hire you?
Right now, it's about $2,200 to $2,800.
So the average customer is spending $2,200 to $2,800 to pay Tip Top Canine to train their dog. But before they decide to commit $2,200 to dog training, they want to see if it's a good fit. So the first lesson is $1. For Shaw Homes, your first consultation is free. Your 3D mock-up of your new home is free. They have all sorts of a free tour, a free interactive experience. That's free. Or in the case of thrivetimeshow.com/EOFire, my first consultation is free. So what you're wanting to do, if you're listening right now, you want to think about what's something that you could offer that's so hot, so irresistible, so amazing that you want to try it out. You would actually be able to modify someone's behavior. Let me give you one more example. I was recently in San Diego, where you're from, JLD. I was in San Diego, and I was not wanting to have a delicious piece of Asian cuisine. I was not thinking to myself, you know what? I want Asian cuisine right now. But I happened to be walking in this mall area, and the guy comes out and says, would you like a free sample? And I'm thinking, well, okay. And I tried the sample, and it was phenomenal. And then it occurred to me, I think I'm hungry. And I ordered a meal. But that free sample, it was a generous sample now. It was an ample sample that my human mind could handle. It was so good, though. And I'm not kidding. I wasn't thinking about having Asian cuisine, but it was so good it altered my behavior. And it was like a tractor beam from Star Wars. And I couldn't pull out of it. And I'm like, oh, no. Next thing you know, I'm ordering the meal. It was phenomenal. So everybody out there, if you go to your website, think about your business right now, folks. Think about it. What is an offer that you could offer that's so hot, so irresistible that people can simply not resist it?
An ample sample. That is definitely going to become part of my vocabulary. I love it for all the reasons. And once we've figured out getting quality leads, once we've figured out our irresistible offer, how do we scale, Clay? How do we grow exponentially?
Well, the thing with Ryan's business that was challenging is he's sort of a dog genius. He knows how to train a dog and the proper way to train a dog and matriculate and coach up the dog so the dog is well behaved. And then the owner goes, wow, my dog used to eat everything. My dog used to eat my beautiful wife's wedding dress. My dog's eating my shoes. My dog won't stop urinating in the house. My dog's crazy. And then they get the dog back and it's a well-behaved dog. So the question is, how do you build a system so that other people who are not you can learn how to train a dog with the level of quality that Ryan can do? So it became sitting down with Ryan, and I'll let Ryan explain in more detail. And this was the part of the process that I don't think he was passionate about, and that I wasn't passionate about it. But in order to achieve financial freedom and time freedom, we had to turn everything into a checklist, everything into a process. And so we had to grind through the process of building a checklist and a process for everything. And now when somebody buys a Tip Top Canine franchise, and correct me if I'm wrong, Ryan, but I think almost everybody who owns a Tip Top Canine franchise now previously was not a dog trainer.
Oh, every single one of them was not.
So we got like a former mortgage banker who bought a Tip Top Canine franchise, and now he's making more money training dogs than he ever made in the mortgage industry. And that's because the systems are so tight. So, Ryan, maybe you could explain what that process was like, because I know it was arduous, it was tedious, but now it's created financial abundance.
Yeah. So, like I said, it wasn't my passion. My passion was training dogs, but we took basically a 2-page outline into a 60-page process manual, and then checklists for our boot camps, process and structure and outlines for our private lessons, for our take-home training, the sales script, our call center scripts, literally everything, painstakingly sitting down and just line item by line item, creating those scripts for the call center. And the sales was probably the biggest thing, because it took me, or even training my trainers, it used to take me 6 months to do what we do in 6 to 8 weeks now.
So now what's happening here, and this is so powerful, JLD, is there's a book called The Checklist Manifesto that I encourage everyone to read. The Checklist Manifesto is written by Atul Gawande. And what he talks about in that book, and this is wild, okay? He talks about medical professionals that were able to dramatically decrease the amount of deaths in hospitals as a result of following a checklist. He talks about architects. They were able to decrease structural problems as a result of using checklists. He talks about aviation experts, pilots, that were able to decrease the amount of errors they had by following checklists. And he talks about in his book that most people don't like following a checklist. And he writes here, and I'm quoting, he says, the volume and complexity of what we know has now exceeded our individual ability to deliver its benefits correctly, safely, or reliable without a checklist. He says, we don't like checklists. They can be painstaking. They're not too much fun. But I don't think the issue here is mere laziness. There's something deeper, more visceral going on when people walk away, not only from saving lives, but from making money. It somehow feels beneath us to use a checklist, an embarrassment. It runs counter to our deeply held beliefs about how the truly great among us, those who we aspire to be like, handle situations of high stakes and complexity. The truly great are supposed to be daring. They improvise. They do not have protocols or checklists. He says maybe our idea of heroism needs updating. I just encourage everybody out there, if your business feels stuck, you want to sit down right now, make a list of all the things that you have to do on a daily basis that are, I call it crap, but core, repeatable, actionable processes. It's crap. Core, repeatable, actionable processes. Anything that you do that it's tedious, repetitive tasks, and find a way to make a checklist or a system out of it so that you can teach a new employee, a new hire, or in Ryan's case, a new franchisee how to do it quickly. And in my office, every position we have JLD in my offices, we can teach somebody how to do that job in 15 hours or less. And that's my goal. And then the Tip Top Canine franchise, when people go to tiptopcanine.com to learn about buying a Tip Top Canine, from the time that somebody shows up as a mortgage banker with no knowledge of training dogs to the time they leave as an expert dog trainer, I believe, Ryan, it's 6 weeks now?
6 weeks.
6 weeks. So that's what you want to do is you want to build a system. It's kind of like reverse college. College, no matter what you want to learn, it takes 4 years. In the world of entrepreneurship, you want it to take no longer than 4 hours if you can.
I will say this. I must kind of be a weird person because I love checklists. I love checklists. Listen,
Yes!
I've always loved checklists, and I think there's a reason for it. While you were talking, Clay, I was like, why do I love checklists? I love checklists because I hate having to do something a second time or a third time. I hate doing something wrong and being like, I've got to start back over again. I literally hate that feeling. And so, man, give me a checklist because I will go through step by step by step, and I will be happy the whole time knowing that I'm doing it right the first time. That is so important to me for some reason. In Fire Nation, I hope it becomes important to you, and I hope you stick around because we're dropping value bombs when we get back from thanking our sponsors. We all know how important engagement with our audience is. As creators, finding effective ways to provide value while also being able to interact in real time is a challenge. But now there's Speak Easy. Speak Easy is an app that allows you to organize your own live talk show. It's made by creators for creators and is uniquely built to help you monetize your audience. Whether you use it for live podcasting, show recordings, or hosting premium content people can subscribe to, Speak Easy has you covered. Want to stream private shows for select attendees? You can do that too. All you have to do is download the app, go live, and you'll be connecting with an interactive audience immediately. I'm loving creating daily content on Speakeasy, and I know you're going to love it too. So what are you waiting for? Visit getspeakeasy.com to download the app. Check me out at John Lee Dumas, and let's start rocking Speakeasy together. That's getspeakeasy.com. I look forward to interacting with you, Fire Nation. Feeling connected to your team is a must, but with employees and contractors all over the globe, feeling that connection can be tough. Not to mention the software you use can sometimes make you feel out of sync, like you and the rest of your team aren't on the same page. And when a team is disconnected, your customers pay the price. If the software you're currently using is sharing out-of-date data on your business or your customers, that equals trouble. Or maybe you feel like your software is making it impossible to see the full picture. If that's the case, then listen up. Customers end up bearing the brunt of this disconnection, meaning a great customer experience is lost, sometimes forever. Ready to get your team on the same page? HubSpot transforms everyday conversations, strategic decision-making sessions, and everything in between into moments customers feel good about. With a lovingly crafted suite of tools, you can seamlessly connect your team so everyone has access to the same data, and you're able to focus on what really matters, your customers. Learn how HubSpot can help your business grow better at HubSpot.com. Clay, Ryan, we're back, and I want to talk about hitting the repeat button. This is something that, Clay, you do so well with yourself and with your clients. How can we systemize repeatable success?
Well, what you do, and I'll just give you an example. I want to brag on Ryan's wife for a second. You know, when I first told Ryan and Rachel when they were new clients, I remember it was, and in this meeting, JLD, it always goes over really badly or really great. And it's going to be, it's like you go one way or the other in this meeting. And I tell the clients, I say, now listen, now that we have more leads, now that we have the branding improved, the branding looks great, the website looks great, leads are coming in. Now we need to install call recording. Now, this show's recorded, right? So anybody can listen to the show and they can say, that guest was terrible, or that guest was awesome. But anyway, the audio of this show lives on for a long time. All right. So everybody hears how this show goes. It's one take. We're not editing it. You just hear it as boom. It's live. Boom. So when you're doing calls, though, sales calls, you say, thank you for calling Tip Top Canine. This is Clay. How can I help you? The way that someone answers the phone is a big factor as to whether that customer becomes a customer or not, whether that lead converts into a customer or not. If the person answering the phone sounds sarcastic, unengaged, disengaged, unfocused, if they sound confused, if they sound unaware, uninformed, uneducated, the ideal and likely buyer that you worked so hard to woo and to wow, that lead that you tried to generate becomes a dormant lead, a dead lead, and the lead dies on the vine. So what we had to do is install call recording. I recommend a company called clarityvoice.com, but you can use whoever you want to use. So we put the call recording in place. Then we have to we have to write a script. So the team has to follow a script and the calls have to be recorded. And Ryan's wife, Rachel, she not only insisted that the calls were recorded and she insisted that the team follow the script, but she did it with a spirit of excellence and joy. And now he has an incredible call center. So anybody who owns a Tip Top Canine franchise, they no longer have to answer their own phones at all. And Ryan, maybe you could talk about that process, because most business owners, when you tell them that their team needs to follow a script and that the calls need to be recorded for quality assurance, most business owners say, that sounds terrible.
Yeah, so it was still every Sunday, our office manager listens to recorded phone calls, and then they play them on Monday, right? Boom. So as a team, they're going over all the calls to make sure everyone's following the script, and it handles about 98% of all the issues. And then what we did with Clay is we're on like version 17, is to start with every week we come in and be like, hey, this is what broke. Hey, this is what broke. And then after listening to the calls, you could see where they couldn't make it, and then we just kept tweaking that. 17 iterations. So we're on version 17 of the script, and then once we finally set it, we've been able to stick with that consistently. Yeah. But early on, we were doing a lot of changes. And now, JLD, the one thing we're working on with Tip Top, which is exciting, is for a variety of reasons, a lot of people are wanting to leave a corporate America. I think a lot of times it's because people listen to great shows like yours, and they start to say, you know what, I want to own my own business. For one reason or another, they're tired of the corporate, compliance, and they feel like they're done working for the big box store. They want to go own their own thing. And so now, Ryan, today, I would say about every week, it seems like you're meeting with somebody who wants to open a Tip Top Canine and trying to figure out if they're a good fit or not. And really, we're scaling the business to a level where financial freedom is now 100%. Ryan and his wife, they now have financial freedom. They now have the time freedom to go back to where we started, to now you can focus on your passion. And I believe, Ryan, you just recently purchased some chickens. Am I correct? Yeah, I did. I bought some chickens.
So now he's pursuing his passion, which is chicken buying.
Do you like fresh eggs? Is that anything you do?
Oh, love the fresh eggs.
Okay, got it. Okay,
love
that's
it.
good.
Oh, we eat like 4 or 5 eggs a day.
So, Clay, you teach entrepreneurs how to create branding that enhances, not diminishes, we're talking enhances perceived value. Tell us more.
Yeah, so we're going to go right now, and everyone to go to shawhomes.com. We're going to go to shawhomes.com. We're going to go to tiptopcanine.com, and we're going to go to oxyfresh.com. These are 3 brands that I work with intimately, so I'm trying to give you some examples here. If you go to oxyfresh.com, oxifresh.com, we just now passed 475 locations. Can I get an amen? Folks, this business went from 1 location to 475 locations. And whether you like the website or not, that's up to you. You go to the website, oxyfresh.com, and if you look at it and go, that is terrible. Well, you know what? You're correct, because you're the consumer. And so you as a consumer are going to decide whether to buy or not buy from a business almost instantly. It's the first impression. All right. Then you go to tiptopcanine.com, and you're going to decide whether you're interested or not interested based on that first impression. Another example would be shawhomes.com, the home builder I was telling you about. So what we have to do with branding is we have to understand that branding is simply a perception. So the way I describe branding is a good friend of mine named Michael Levine. He used to be the PR consultant for Nike, for Pizza Hut, for Michael Jordan. Check this out, folks. For George Bush and Bill Clinton. So if you don't like George Bush, you don't like Bill Clinton. Either way, he did both. He worked on both sides. And one of the things he told me is he said, Clay, branding is nothing other than gift wrapping. So he said, if you were to give a woman a ring and you gave her the ring and you gave it to her and it was packaged in a Kmart box, no offense to any Kmart employees out there, but if you got on one knee and you said, will you marry me? And you pulled out the Kmart box, a lot of women would go, did you buy my ring at Kmart? Are you kidding me? You know, they would reject the packaging. Now, if you got on the knee, on the one knee, and you got out and you pulled out a ring and you presented it in a Tiffany box, they would go, oh, wow, this is awesome. And there would be an immediate reaction. So what's wild, though, is if you were a very deceitful person, and none of your listeners are, but you had a really, really cheap ring that you bought and you put it in a Tiffany box, most people would perceive the cheap ring in the Tiffany box as having higher value than the ring, even a high quality ring, put it in a Kmart box. So what happens is we have to understand is we gift wrap everything as a culture. We gift wrap websites, we gift wrap politicians, we gift wrap musicians and celebrities, and people do judge you based upon the appearance of that first appearance they see. So when we went to tiptopcanine.com, and you'll have to correct me because my memory gets worse over time, but on tiptopcanine.com, I believe we went and we enhanced the website almost immediately.
Yes.
And yellow's your color.
Yellow's our color. Well, actually, we did the logo first. Got business cards, flyers, and then once you got the look, then we started making the website match the look.
We did your logo?
Yeah, you did the logo.
I don't remember that. Okay, so we did.
Yeah,
I
had an older, like, shieldish.
Okay.
Yeah, thing.
So we did the logo, and then we did an auto wrap for all the vehicles.
Yep, auto wrap, and then all of our sales sheets, our flyers. We got rid of the Word document sheets that I had.
So everything is branded, and it's designed to appeal to your ideal and likely buyers. So if you're listening right now, and you say, I went to oxyfresh.com and I don't like it. The question is, does your ideal and likely buyer like it? You see? So for oxyfresh.com, I want people to fathom this, okay? A man by the name of Jonathan Barnett had a vision to start the world's greenest carpet cleaner. And he had done it. He had created the world's greenest carpet cleaning process. It uses 10 times less water than almost every carpet cleaner in America. However, we needed more ideal and likely buyers because most businesses that fail, by the way, have a great idea or a great product. They just don't sell anything. And if you can't sell, your business goes to hell. So we worked with Jonathan Barnett with oxyfresh.com. We've worked with Ryan with tiptopcanine.com. We've worked with shawhomes.com. And all I'm trying to do is make sure that the branding matches the expectations of your ideal and likely buyer. So the question is, when you look at these websites, oxyfresh.com, tiptopcanine.com, shawhomes.com, or whatever your business is, I want you to ask yourself this question if you're listening right now. Does your website meet the expectations of your ideal and likely buyer? Does your website, does your branding, does your marketing, does your logo, do your print pieces, do they appeal to your ideal and likely buyer? And right here on my desk right now, I have a business card that was given to me by a guy by the name of Vito Servadio. It's like Servadio. Vito. He gave this to me at a birthday party I was at this week, and he happens to but the business card he gave me was phenomenal. It's like a sharp business card. His company's called Only the Best. It's a firearms company. But this card is hot, you know? And he gave it to me. And right away I go, that is a great looking business card. And it's because it's a metal card. You want to keep it. You want to stick around. Another example would be, think about the packaging of an iPad. Everybody who buys an iPad, they want to keep the packaging of the iPad, and they don't know why. What are we going to use the packaging to re-gift next year? What are we doing? But people always want to keep the Apple packaging because the branding is so good.
Fire Nation, think about that. Think about the power of branding. And I love all the examples that you gave, Clay. And as I'm hearing you talk, I'm going through Tip Top K9. And that, by the way, is the letter K, the number 9. And whose idea was it, Ryan? It might have been yours, to have the dog balancing on top of the fire hydrant.
Yeah, that's mine.
That is so classic. I mean, Fire Nation, it's worth it just going to Tip Top K9.
That's our place command. Is doggy time out. We teach him to go to a box, a chair, a stool, and we use the fire hydrant just to show off.
The letter K, the number 9. So Tip Top, the letter K, the number 9.com. testimonials. And as always, Clay just crushes it with testimonials as well. And I'm looking at all these testimonials you have. I mean, it's literally countless, but I mean, it's like, wow, if there's this many testimonials, this must be the best canine trainer literally in the world. And people go to search engines every single day, Clay, because they want to find solutions to their problems. How do you teach your students to dominate search engine results?
Well, what we do, and by the way, if anybody's listening right now and you go to thrivetimeshow.com/EOFire, if you're listening right now, any of your listeners can attend one of our in-person 2-day workshops. And the way I do it, JLD, is I tell people you can pay $250 for a ticket or whatever you want to pay. So somebody could say, I think I'm going to pay $5. I'm going to try it. That's fine. I don't care. Okay. It's the law of reciprocity. So far, everybody who's ever attended our workshops loves it. They go and tell their friends and family. But at the workshops, I do a full multiple-hour presentation on how to do this, but I'm going to sum it up into 4 quick points. There's 4 variables that impact your rank on the search engines, okay? Variable number 1, you have to have a website that is canonically compatible with Google's compliance standards. It has to be canonically compliant, or you would call it Google compliant. Does it adhere to the Google standards? Does it follow their canon of rules? Is it canonically compliant? The second, is it mobile compliant? What? By whose standard? By Google's standard. Is your website mobile compliant? The third is whoever has the most original HTML content, whoever has the most original relevant HTML content, that's hypertext markup language content, gets to be top for that subject. And 4, it's whoever has the most objective reviews. So I can help a business owner very quickly as part of our consulting program. What I do is I charge people $1,700 a month to grow their business. It's month to month. And with that package, I do include photography, videography, web development, search engine, all those things. But where I make my money, JLD, being very transparent with the listeners, I make a 20% margin with every client I work with. So I make $340 a month per client on average. It's month to month. So I'm not getting rich off that. It's $54,400 a month of profit I generate off the 160 clients. But where I make most of my money is I get a small percentage of the growth. That's where I camp out. That's where I make most of my money, is a small percentage of the growth. That's where I love to be. And so when I work with a client, I tell the client right away, hey, listen, we need to make your website canonically compliant. And I have web developers that work here full time, and they work with the client, and we knock it out right away. Boom. Then I tell them, we need to make it mobile compliant. Boom. But the third area that I cannot do, and that's why I want to brag on Ryan with Tip Top Canine. I want to brag on OxyFresh. I want to brag on ShawHomes.com. I cannot gather objective Google reviews from clients that are not happy. I can't do it. Furthermore, I just can't do it. I cannot write original HTML content for a client unless they either do it themselves or they encourage my staff to do it for them. So I'd say 95% of my clients, JLD, they prefer not to write massive amounts of keyword-rich hypertext markup language content, so they have us write it for them. And then, the Google reviews, that's something that Ryan and his team get. They get video reviews and Google reviews. Ryan, could you kind of explain the process that you use to go about getting those reviews and why you've chosen to have my team write the content for you?
Yeah, as far as choosing you guys to use the content is we start out writing our own content, and that's not fun.
Soul sucking.
Yeah. So we had a lot of other stuff to do, so that's definitely not worth it in my opinion. But
getting the reviews. What about getting the reviews?
The reviews. First off, we got to wow the client. I got to really bring it when we train their dog, either when we boot camp it and take it and train it or do the lessons.
Yeah.
And then we just ask them. We ask them for a review, and my people, they all get bonuses if they get reviews. They get pretty hefty bonuses.
So you provide a wow, and then you ask for the review.
Yeah, we provide a wow and ask for the review.
Now, I'll say this here, JLD, real quick. I want everyone to look this up. Type in carpet cleaning quotes into Google, folks. Type it in right now, carpet cleaning quotes. Did you know that OxyFresh.com, one of my longtime clients, they're the highest and most reviewed business in America of any type.
Wow, 236,973 reviews.
And someone says, that's hyperbole. Look it up, folks. I'm telling you, I give you facts. That's a big part of the Chet Holmes Ultimate Sales Machine experience, by the way. Big shout out to the Chet Holmes legacy, to his daughter, to anybody connected with that organization. They are the best. But I'm telling you, you got to get those reviews. It's called puffery if you're making stuff up. You want to cite your sources, okay? That's why I give people examples, ample examples that the humans can handle. Also, it's very important to understand this. When you go to thrivetimeshow.com, do you know in 2006, that was the first year that a client called me and said, could you help me grow my business? And at that point, JLD, I had built America's largest wedding DJ entertainment company. I'd built a massive photography company. I'd built a commercial real estate business. I'd been building my own companies. I never wanted to be a marketing consultant, business growth guy. And I remember I had a dentist and an insurance agent. They said, could you help me grow my business? And this, as God is my witness, this dentist tripled the size of his dental practice. And I said, hey, Dr. Lindsay, could you record on video about your growth? Because no one's going to believe it. And he goes, yeah, sure. So I put it up there, thrivetimeshow.com. Then I talked to the insurance agent. I said, hey, no one's going to believe you're Oklahoma's largest insurance agent where you used to struggle. Could you record a video? Boom. So if you look at those videos, as of right now, as of today, we now have over 2,000 client success stories where we have over tripled the size of someone's business. They're all documented. And JLT, that's why I believe that our program is so successful. One, because the current clients know, wow, other people can do it. I can do it too. And the other thing is that people have seen the validators and they know, wow, the proof is in the pudding. Success leaves trails. And it's all documented right there at thrivetimeshow.com.
Fire Nation, thrivetimeshow.com/EOFire. I mean, check it out. He has so much stuff going on there. Ryan and Clay, I mean, I want to end with a bang here. Let's take our time because, I mean, there's just been so many value bombs. I just don't want any to sneak through the cracks here. But let's start with you, Ryan. What is the one major takeaway that you really want Fire Nation to get from everything that we've talked about, from all the value bombs we've dropped? What do you want to make sure our listeners really understand?
Yeah, I would say I want them to really understand that it doesn't matter how good you are at your craft. If you don't have repeatable systems and they're not scripted out, you're not going to succeed in replacing yourself. So it doesn't matter how good you are. You just own a job. You don't necessarily own a business. We tripled our income, right, while growing to 17 locations and doing product support and doing a call center and billing support for the locations. So that was in 5 years. So we tripled my location while we're training 17 others. So I couldn't have done that without hard system.
Clay, bring us home. What is it you really want to make sure Fire Nation gets in this conversation? Give us that strong call to action so we can have more success stories from you, Fire Nation. Our listeners, take action.
Well, you got 3 ways that you can get rich that you people always say, can I get rich quick? I could definitely guarantee that somebody can become wealthy if they follow these proven systems. I can do that. And by the way, if you start working at the age of 20, and you want to become a millionaire by the age of 40, you need to save about $175 a day. I know that because I've done the math. Okay, so you need to save $175 a day and then don't die. That would be your stop, drop, and roll, look both ways while crossing traffic, that kind of thing. Okay, but you save $175 a day. But if you want to get wealthier faster, what you want to do is you want to look at the 3 situations. One, you could go out there and open your own business, okay? And that's the thing I specialize in teaching people at thrivetimeshow.com/EOFire. I can teach you how to grow a successful company. So if you have a company, you want to grow it, that's what I do. I'd love to help you. Boom. The first consultation's free. The workshops are interactive. You can learn more. But again, the first consultation is free at thrivetimeshow.com/EOFire. 2, you could buy an existing business model. You would call that franchising or licensing. I gave you 2 examples today, but there's other ones I didn't give you. I mean, you could become a State Farm agent. You could open a Tip Top Canine. You could open up a Domino's Pizza. You could open up an OxyFresh. The reason why I wanted to have Ryan on today's show is he's a client I've worked with for a long time. We've successfully helped him to franchise, and it's pretty awesome what he can do, and it's less than $50,000 to open up a location. And there are some franchises you can look into, like buying a McDonald's is over $2 million today. So, buying a franchise is a great option. You just want to make sure it's affordable for you. And the third thing you can do, and this is something I don't know that I can't do it. You have to be a genius. Now, somebody out there says, I am a genius. That's great. But I'm talking about like Steve Jobs invented, the modern computer systems that we have today. He's a genius. He revolutionized the music industry. He's a genius. Michael Jordan could play basketball in a way that Marvin Gaye could sing. If you're a genius, if you have that supernatural God-given talent where you can sing songs and play basketball and invent stuff, you don't need me, because if you're so great that the world can't ignore you, that right there is awesome. But for the average person like myself, I'll put myself in that category, where you're not the next LeBron James, you're not the next, Oprah, you're not the next Marvin Gaye, you probably need to go back to move 1 or 2. So either you want to grow a proven, learn how to grow a business using proven systems that we teach at thrivetimeshow.com/EOFire, or You want to buy a franchise or license an existing system, which you can learn more about at tiptopcanine.com. And again, there's other options too. I mean, State Farm is a great brand. I'm not affiliated with them in any way, shape, or form. Domino's is a great brand. I mean, there's so many. Jimmy John's is a great brand. What I like about Tip Top, though, is it's $50,000 or less, whereas a lot of the other opportunities that exist in franchising do cost people millions of dollars.
Fire Nation, you can see why Clay has made his 10th appearance on Fire Nation, because he brings the fire, he brings the heat, and he brings the results. Because you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. You've been hanging out with Clay and Ryan and JLD today, so keep up the heat. If you head over to eofire.com, type Clay, you will see the show notes page with links to everything, as well as the other 9 shows that he did, and I promise you, they were all amazing. ThriveTimeShow.com/EOFire. ThriveTimeShow.com/EOFire. If you want to start taking steps in the right direction with your life and business, Fire Nation, get on a free consultation call with Clay. Take advantage of this, because I can guarantee you he may not be able to do this forever, because he only has so much time, energy, and effort he can put into this. But Clay, Ryan, I want to say thank you for sharing your truth, knowledge, value with Fire Nation today. For that, we salute you, and we'll catch you both on the flip side.
Boom.
Thanks, man.
Hey, Fire Nation, a big thank you to Clay, Ryan, and our sponsors for sponsoring today's episode. And Fire Nation, if you want productivity, discipline, and focus in your life, the Mastery Journal is for you. Visit themasteryjournal.com, and in 100 days, you'll master productivity, you'll master focus, you'll master discipline. Check it out, themasteryjournal.com, and I'll catch you there, or I'll catch you on the flip side.
Hey, I'm Ryan Wimpy. I'm originally from Tulsa, born and raised here. I've definitely learned a lot about life design and making sure the business serves you. The linear workflow for us and getting everything out on paper and documented is really important. Like we have workflows that are kind of all over the place, so having linear workflow and seeing that mapped out on multiple different boards is pretty awesome. That's really helpful for me. The atmosphere here is awesome. I definitely just stared at the walls, figuring out how to make my facility look like this place. This place rocks. It's invigorating. The walls are super, it's just very cool. The atmosphere is cool. The people are nice. It's a pretty cool place to be. Very good learning atmosphere. I literally want to model it and steal everything that's here at this facility and basically create it just on our business side. Clay is hilarious. I literally laughed so hard that I started having tears yesterday. And we've been learning a lot, which, you know, we've been sitting here, we've been learning a lot, and so the humor definitely helps. It breaks it up. But the content is awesome, off the charts, and it's very interactive. You can raise your hand. It's not like you're just listening to the professor speak, you know. The wizard teaches, but the wizard interacts and he takes questions, so that's awesome. If you're not attending the conference, you're missing about 3/4 to half of your life. You're definitely... It's probably worth a couple $1,000s. So you're missing the thought process of someone that's already started like 9 profitable businesses. So not only is it a lot of good information, but just getting in the thought process of Clay Clark or Dr. Zellner or any of the other coaches, getting in the thought process of how they're starting all these businesses, to me, just that is priceless. That's money. Well, we're definitely not getting upsold here. My wife and I have attended conferences where where it was great information, and then they upsold us like half the conference, and I don't want to like bang my head into a wall, and she's like banging her head into the chair in front of her. Like, it's good information, but we're like, oh my gosh, I want to strangle you. Shut up and go with the presentation that we paid for, and that's not here. There's no upsells or anything, so that's awesome. I hate that. It makes me angry. So glad that's not happening. So the cost of this conference is quite a bit cheaper than business college. I went to a small private liberal arts college and got a degree in business, and I didn't learn anything like they're teaching here. I didn't learn linear workflows. I learned stuff that I am not using, and I haven't been using for the last 9 years. So what they're teaching here is actually way better than what I got at business school. And I went what was actually ranked as a very good business school. I would definitely recommend that people would check out the Thrive 15 conference. The information that you're going to get is just very, very beneficial, and the mindset that you're going to get, that you're going to leave with, is just absolutely worth the price of a little bit of money and a few days worth of your time.
Some shows don't need a celebrity narrator to introduce the show, but this show does. In a world filled with endless opportunities, why would two men who have built 13 multi-million-dollar businesses altruistically invest 5 hours per day to teach you the best practice business systems and moves that you can use? Because they believe in you, and they have a lot of time on their hands. They started from the bottom, now they're here. It's the Thrive Time Show, starring the former U.S. Small Business Administration's Entrepreneur of the Year, Clay Clark, and the entrepreneur trapped inside an optometrist's body, Dr. Robert Zoellner. 2 men, 8 kids, co-created by 2 different women, 13 multi-million-dollar businesses.
We started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom, and we'll show you how to get here. Started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom, now we here.
Started from the bottom, now we're at the top, teaching you the systems to get what we got. Colton Dixon's on the hooks, I break down the books. Z's bringing some wisdom and the good looks. As the father of 5, that's why I'm alive. So if you see my wife and kids, please tell them hi. It's the CNC up on your radio, and now 3, 2, 1, here we go.
We started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom, and we'll show you how to get here. Started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom, now we here.
I'm Rachel with Tip Top Canine, and we just want to give a huge thank you to Clay and Vanessa Clark.
Hey guys, I'm Ryan with Tip Top Canine. Just want to say a big thank you to Thrive 15. Thank you to Make Your Life Epic. We love you guys, we appreciate you, and really just appreciate how far you've taken us. This is our old house, right? This is where we used to live a few years ago. This is our old neighborhood. See? It's nice, right? So this is my old van and our old school marketing, and this is our old team. And by team, I mean it's me and another guy.
This is our new house with our new neighborhood. This is our new van with our new marketing, and this is our new team. We went from 4 to 14, and I took this beautiful photo. We worked with several different business coaches in the past, and they were all about helping Ryan sell better and just teaching sales, which is awesome, but Ryan is a really great salesman. So we didn't need that. We needed somebody to help us get everything that was in his head out into systems, into manuals and scripts, and actually build a team. So now that we have systems in place, we've gone from 1 to 10 locations in only a year.
In October 2016, we grossed 13 grand for the whole month. Right now it's 2018, the month of October. It's only the 22nd. We've already grossed a little over 50 grand for the whole month, and we still have time to go. We're just thankful for you, thankful for Thrive and your mentorship, and we're really thankful that you guys have helped us to grow a business that we run now instead of the business running us. Just thank you times 1,000.
The Thrive Time Show 2-day interactive business workshops are the highest and most reviewed business workshops on the planet.
You can learn the proven 13-point business systems that Dr. Zoellner and I have used over and over to start and grow successful companies. I mean, we get into the specific steps on what you need to do to optimize your website. We're going to teach you how to fix your conversion rate. We're going to teach you how to do a social media marketing campaign that works. How do you raise capital? How do you get a small business loan? We teach you everything you need to know here during a 2-day, 15-hour workshop. It's all here for you. You work every day in your business, but for 2 days you can escape and work on your business and build these proven systems so now you can have a successful company that will produce both the time freedom and the financial freedom that you deserve. You're going to leave energized, motivated, but you're also going to leave empowered. The reason why I've built these workshops is because as an entrepreneur, I always wish that I had this. And because there wasn't anything like this, I would go to these motivational seminars, no money down, real estate, Ponzi scheme, get motivated seminars, and they would never teach me anything. It was like you went there and you paid for the big chocolate Easter bunny, but inside of it, it was a hollow nothingness. And I wanted the knowledge, and they're like, oh, but we'll teach you the knowledge after our next workshop. And And the great thing is we have nothing to upsell. At every workshop, we teach you what you need to know. There's no one in the back of the room trying to sell you some next big get-rich-quick, walk-on-hot coals product. It's literally, we teach you the brass tacks, the specific stuff that you need to know to learn how to start and grow a business. And I encourage you to not believe what I'm saying, and I want you to Google the Z66 auto auction. I want you to Google elephant in the room. Look at Robert Zellner and Associates. Look them up and say, are they successful because they're geniuses, or are they successful because they have a proven system? When you do that research, you will discover that the same systems that we use in our own business can be used in your business. Come to Tulsa, book a ticket, and I guarantee you it's going to be the best business workshop ever, and we'll even give you your money back if you don't love it. We've built this facility for you, and we're excited to see you.
All right. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to bring up my good friend Ryan Wimpy, and his dog Odin. This dog has the ability to eat me, so I'm sort of concerned. I'll pass the mic to you, and Odin, you can have your own mic if you want, whatever you want, Odin. Okay, I'm a little bit afraid of Odin.
Hi, I'm Ryan Wimpy.
And I'm Rachel Wimpy, and the name of our business is Tip Top Canine.
Our business is a dog training business. We help people with behavioral issues and teach their dog how to listen. When I was learning to become a dog trainer, we didn't learn anything about internet marketing or advertising or anything at all. Just dog training. And that's what's so great about working with Clay and his team, because they do it all for us.
So that we can focus on our passion, and that's training dogs. Clay and his team here, they're so enthusiastic. Their energy is off the charts. Never a dull moment here at Thrive.
We've been working with Clay and his team for the last 5 months, 2 of which have been our biggest months ever. 1, our biggest gross by 35%. Clay's helped us make anything from brochures to stickers, new business cards, new logos, scripts for phones, script for email, script for text message, scripting for everything.
How I would describe the weekly meetings with Clay and his team are awesome. They're so effective. It's worth every minute. Things get done. We'll ask for things like different flyers, and they're done before our hour is up. So it's just awesome, extremely effective.
If you don't use Clay and his team, you're probably going to be pulling your hair out, or you're going to spend half of your time trying to figure out the online marketing game and producing your own flyers and marketing materials, print materials, all the stuff like that. You're really losing a lot as far as lost productivity and lost time. Not having a professional do it, it has a real sense of urgency and that actually knows what they're doing when you already have something that's your core focus that you already know how to do.
You would also be missing out with all the time and financial freedom that you would have working with Clay and his team.
We would recommend Clay and his team to other business owners because they need to be working on their business, not just trying to figure out the online game, which is complex and changing daily. So no one has a marketing team too. Most people don't. They can't afford one, and their local web guy or a local person that they know probably can't do everything that a whole team and a whole floor of people can do in hours and not just weeks or months. There's a definite sense of urgency with Clay and his team. I used to have to ride other web people, really ride them to get stuff done, and stuff is done so fast here, and there's a real sense of urgency to get it done.
Hey, I'm Ryan Wimpy. I'm originally from Tulsa, born and raised here. I've definitely learned a lot about life design and making sure the business serves you. The linear workflow for us and getting everything out on paper and documented is really important. Like we have workflows that are kind of all over the place, so having linear workflow and seeing that mapped out on multiple different boards is pretty awesome. That's really helpful for me. The atmosphere here is awesome. I definitely just stared at the walls, figuring out how to make my facility look like this place. This place rocks. It's invigorating. The walls are super, it's just very cool. The atmosphere is cool. The people are nice. It's a pretty cool place to be. Very good learning atmosphere. I literally want to model it and steal everything that's here at this facility and basically create it just on our business side. Play is hilarious. I literally laughed so hard that I started having tears yesterday. And we've been learning a lot, which, we've been sitting here, we've been learning a lot, and so the humor definitely helps. It breaks it up. But the content is awesome, off the charts, and it's very interactive. You can raise your hand. It's not like you're just listening to the professor speak, The wizard teaches, but the wizard interacts and he takes questions, so that's awesome. If you're not attending the conference, you're missing about 3/4 to half of your life. You're definitely it's probably worth a couple $1,000s. So you're missing the thought process of someone that's already started like 9 profitable businesses. So not only is it a lot of good information, but just getting in the thought process of Clay Clark or Dr. Zellner or any of the other coaches, getting in the thought process of how they're starting all these businesses, to me, just that is priceless. That's money. Well, we're definitely not getting upsold here. My wife and I have attended conferences where where it was great information, and then they upsold us like half the conference, and I don't want to like bang my head into a wall, and she's like banging her head into the chair in front of her. Like, it's good information, but we're like, oh my gosh, I want to strangle you. Shut up and go with the presentation that we paid for, and that's not here. There's no upsells or anything, so that's awesome. I hate that. It makes me angry. So glad that's not happening. So the cost of this conference is quite a bit cheaper than business college. I went to a small private liberal arts college and got a degree in business, and I didn't learn anything like they're teaching here. I didn't learn linear workflows. I learned stuff that I am not using, and I haven't been using for the last 9 years. So what they're teaching here is actually way better than what I got at business school. And I went what was actually ranked as a very good business school. I would definitely recommend that people would check out the Thrive 15 conference. The information that you're going to get is just very, very beneficial, and the mindset that you're going to get, that you're going to leave with, is just absolutely worth the price of a little bit of money and a few days worth of your time.
Oh, look at this cute baby. What a great baby. Quality baby. That's a healthy baby right there. Okay. Thrive Nation, on today's show, I'm very excited for you to hear this success story about this wonderful couple that, Sean, I would describe them as they are killing the game in the most nonviolent way possible. They're killing the game.
Yeah.
In the most nonviolent way possible. They are blowing up in a good way. Folks, I'm telling you, these folks are really growing their business, and what makes them great is they're really kind, hardworking, diligent people, and we're honored to serve them. We've got Jenny and Mike here joining us. Jenny and Mike, welcome to the Thrive Time Show. How are you two?
Hi, thank you. Good. We're doing well.
Okay, now I'll start with you, Jenny, because frankly, Sean likes you more. No, I'm just kidding. So, let's start with you. So, how did you first discover us and the business coaching that we provide?
So I was listening to different podcasts about business. I was starting up our business. And so you were the first one to pop up on our podcast on Apple. I think Apple is what I was on. And so I started listening to you. I got on your website, and I was just a little girl starting a business. And I said, I'm going to ask this guy to be my coach. And I don't think I'm going to get a shot, but sure enough, within a week, you called me.
Now, who is this cute child here? But Micah, who is this cute kid here?
It's Lennon Rose. She is about to be 10 months old.
I hate to do this to you, but can you kind of hold up the baby to the camera a little bit? This is probably, look at this cute baby. What a great baby. Quality baby. That's a healthy baby. Right there. Okay. So Mike, can you tell us what's the name of your website there? I think people want to look you up and verify you're real people that don't just happen to have a cute baby.
Yeah. Our website is newconcept.healthcare.
Newconcept.healthcare. So newconcept.healthcare. I'm going to pull it up right now, folks, so we can all verify that they're not just a couple who's taking advantage of the cute baby they have to get a podcast here. This is a real couple. Okay, so I'm pulling it up here. So this is the website. It's newconcept.healthcare. And can you tell our listeners, what services do you guys provide at newconcept.healthcare?
So we offer more functional medicine. So we offer IV therapies. We offer hormone replacement therapies. We also do acute care. We do pretty much everything, but we're very much alternative. So we believe in medical freedom, and that's what we offer.
And you guys, you reached out. Do you remember that initial consultation there? Do you remember, Mike, that initial consultation? Do you remember what that was like?
Yeah, it was actually pretty overwhelming that we were starting this business with absolutely nothing, and we had the opportunity to work with Thrive Time Show.
Well, you know, the one thing I always try to do is, you know, my father, great guy, may he rest in peace. He worked his tail off like so many people do, and there was no real economic result that was achieved from it. There wasn't any, you know, he had the college degree. He's working 2 jobs. I remember he's late 30s. He's working at Domino's, delivering pizzas, working at Quick Trip. He worked at furniture stores. And I always try to look at every new client we have as though I'm talking to my dad, you know, because like what would my dad what could he have learned at the age of 37 that could have changed the financial trajectory of his life? And I try to look at it that way. And so you guys, I paired you up with Sean. You've been working with Sean, I believe, Sean, since October of 2020. Is that correct, Sean?
I think that's when they started their business. It wasn't until about April of 2021 when we actually got going.
So April of 2021. And at that point, from that point to now, Sean, how much of growth have you guys achieved from 2021 to now? Do you know that number?
Yeah, I mean, we're sitting at 2023 revenues were 821,000, and they're in October of 2020. Like they only had a few months, but they made about 95,000 by the end of 2020, and then we grew significantly that first year to about 375% to 588,000, and we continued to grow there ever since, all the way up to where we're getting close to the $1 million mark at this point here, just like 3 years in.
Jenny, how would you describe the growth? Would you say you've doubled? Are you 5 times larger? How would you describe that?
Oh no, I definitely feel the growth. There's been some growing pains, and you guys have helped us through that too. So it's been amazing. It's been amazing to help people, because that's what I'm passionate about. And you guys have really helped us expand and tell people what we're about.
So step one here, we do this with all the clients. I'm gonna walk people through the steps. We really needed to nail down your branding, and that's a big thing, because branding is to humans what clothing is. So as an example, you wake up today, folks, if you run around and you're streaking through life, you're probably not going to get a lot of conversations started. So we all have to be intentional about, what are we going to wear? Are we going to wear a tie? Are we going to wear a polo? Are we going to do makeup? Are we not? So people, they judge us based on our appearance. And so we really had to get a website built. We had to optimize the online brand. Jenny, we do it all included for our clients, so we don't refer you to another vendor. We do it all. Can you talk about the impact that has made on the business?
Oh, for sure. Just the website itself, it looks so great. We would have never been able to make it look that great. The way y'all optimize everything and keep us, with Google, just where people search us, and that we're the first people that come up. And that's actually how we've established our business and started offering some of the things that we offer, is because of the tags that we have. I didn't originally start off as doing IV therapy, but due to people Googling, healthcare functional medicine, I had 3 phone calls in a week that said, "Hey, do you offer IV therapy?" And it was very interesting. And I was like, well, no, but I can. And so it was because of you guys that kind of snowballed and took effect. So yeah, there's a lot that you guys have done for us.
Now, Sean, when working with these wonderful clients here, I'll pick on Mike here. You always say great things about Mike and Jenny. What makes them good to work with? Because I want to make sure for anybody out there, if you go to thrivetimeshow.com, I consistently offer a free 13-point assessment. I've been doing that since 2005. I do it without reservation. There's no obligation, but there's usually about 1 to 2 knuckleheads a week that will fill out the form, and probably 20 really great people that fill out the form. And then we only take on 160 clients. And so I don't want anyone to waste their time. What makes Mike so great to work with?
Well, Clay, I mean, when I first started coaching, you taught me about these 2 types of business owners. There's the happy hopers out there, and then there's the diligent doers. And I think these guys are a great example of the diligent doer. They continually apply effort to work on their business, not just in their business. They consistently show up to their meetings. They track all of the critical numbers of their business, and they're aware of what's going on with all of their employees. They're paying attention to all the little things going on. They're keeping all the plates spinning, and they ask great questions. They actually really do make a great effort consistently to apply our systems and help their business grow. And it's been working.
So step one, we get the branding nailed down. That's the website, the print pieces, the logos, the business cards. But then you have to develop that online reputation. Now that could be a tough thing to do, Jenny. And I'll just, this isn't a backhanded compliment. I'm just saying, but for people that are humble and very kind, of which I would put Jenny in that category, sometimes asking for reviews is more difficult because you almost feel like you're self-promoting. I've never had this conversation with you, but has that been difficult for you to ask people to give you video reviews and Google reviews after you provided the service, or was that easy for you to do?
It was not. It's not easy. It still isn't easy.
Okay.
It is. It's difficult because you feel like you're begging for something, even though you know you did the right thing.
Yeah.
So it's difficult for me. It's just my personality type, but we get it done anyways.
I'll find this for the diligent, kind customers we work with. It's very difficult sometimes to ask for those objective reviews from real customers. And I find that from my clients I've worked with that are sort of like self-described barbarians. I had a guy years ago I worked with. I won't mention his name or his industry, but I'll just say he's obsessed with physical fitness. And he told me, he says, I'm kind of a business barbarian. You tell me what to do and I will slay the dragons. And I'm like, okay, you need to get Google reviews from everybody you've ever, worked with. And he's like, oh, I'm on it. And this guy's just shamelessly calling through his phone and just lighting people up going, give me a review. Come on, give me a review. Why will you not give me? I'm like, go ahead, dial it down a little bit. So again, you guys are humble, diligent doers. You're the ideal person here. So I appreciate you sharing that. The next thing we had to do is we had to create a no-brainer. Now, a no-brainer is an offer so good, so amazing that people simply cannot say no to it. Now, I won't mention the name of the company, but I worked years ago and I still work with this company. They're a medical company. They're doing well now. And for whatever reason, they put on their website, first initial consult, $497. And he went to one of these like borderline spiritual motivational conference things where Jesus isn't described, but they kind of talk about metaphysical alignment and getting your woo-saw, getting in your groove, alignment, no friction. and he came back and he's like, Clay, I believe in the seventh, the number of completion. I go, I agree. He says 4 is the number that's urgent. I'm like, okay. And I go, what? And he's like, I don't want tire kickers. So I'm going to do $497 for my first consult. That way I don't deal with the tire kickers. And I'm like, Doc, I love you so much. You're a doctor. I love it. You don't have any customers though. That's why you came to me. You don't have any customers. So why don't you do a first free consult? He's like, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to kick out Sean, the tire kicker. So I'm sure you've never seen this with a client.
Oh, never.
And so now what makes it worse is his wife also went to the Metaphysical Alignment Motivational Jackassery Festival. And she was like, 497 is the number. I had a dream about it. I'm like, yeah, you probably talked about it all weekend. You probably are subconsciously thinking about it. You're probably creating a neural pathway related to 497. And so anyway, after about a year, he finally says, okay, I came to your conference and I saw a person that did the first consult for $1. I'm going to go with that. And now his business is blowing up. Could you talk about your no-brainer, your first consult for $1? How has that helped you having that no-brainer offer?
Yeah, so it gets people in. And so when we get people in, we know that we're doing a good job and we know that we're trustworthy and our healthcare is superior to most. So just getting people in for that $1, because a lot of people are, they're nervous about going to the doctor or they don't trust healthcare system. And so they know that they can come in, they're only going to spend $1. They can figure out whether or not they trust us, figure out whether or not we're the place for them. And we know 100% of the time we will be. So it's really helped us just get people in and get people to trust us more.
Now, once somebody fills out the form, folks, again, there's a linear pathway here. I'm trying to give you a visual here. So you establish your revenue goals. You figure out your numbers to break even. You figure out how many hours a week you're willing to work. Even though you have a cute baby, you got to figure out how you're going to get it done. And step number 4 is you define your unique value proposition. What makes you unique? That's something you and Sean have worked on together. You improve your branding. Now you're coming in contact with humans. Business is a contact sport. I love this part. That's when you start marketing. You launch your marketing. You have your online ads. You optimize your website. You begin to come up top in the search results. You start to get leads. Do you remember what it was like, Jenny, when you first got your first online lead? Do you remember the first one where you're like, it's working? Do you remember that moment?
Yeah, it was almost like we did celebrate because it finally had happened. And then as soon as the first one came in, the second one came in. And like I said, it was almost a growing pain experience. We had so many leads so fast. So it was great. And we still celebrate every lead that we get.
Now, Mike, the next step is you have to make sales scripts. We recommend to every client that the calls are recorded for quality assurance. You have a sales script. The calls are recorded for quality assurance. You have a one sheet that tracks your pricing. You have pre-written emails. You begin tracking. Sean's always bragging about you guys with tracking. Mike, how has it helped to have tracking in place where you can see, how does that help you?
Well, it's really a good benefit because, at the end of the week, what your income was, what your leads was. So wherever we're lacking in, we can quickly adjust and make that adjustment to make it work for the next week.
Now, if you don't have tracking, folks, this is a true story. It's kind of a sad story, so I'll speak in generality, Sean. I talked to a guy the other day, just share a terrible story. Longtime client, and he got motivated. He set up a trade show. He didn't tell me he's doing it. It's fine. You don't have to tell me, but he set up a trade show. I think he was going to try to surprise me with the fruit of the trade show. So he set up the trade show, and he gets on the call. His energy's kind of off, and I'm like, "Are you okay?" "Yeah, dude, fine." What's wrong?" I don't know. I'm like, "Your lead sheet, we're getting 10 to 15 leads a week. It's very consistent. Revenue looks good." He's like, "Yeah, I'm in a tight spot." "Well, you're in a tight spot. Why are you in a tight spot?" He says, "I did a trade show." "You did a trade show?" "Yeah, I got roped into 4. I did a thing where you get the billboard, you get the trade show, you get the magazine ad. And I did the trade show, and we got no leads." And I go, "What kind of trade show did you do?" And he says, "Well, I went to the whatever trade show." And Sean, what I find is that there's the emotional excitement about being on the billboard, being on the magazine cover, and he got called by one of these kind of scam. I call it a scamockery or jackassery.
Yeah.
They call you and they go, boop, 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 boop. "Hey, is this Sean?"
Yeah, this is Sean.
"Sean, yeah, we noticed that you have an incredible healthcare company, and we want to honor you by giving you the yada yada of the region award. It's the yada yada. It's a regional, it's a prestigious award. We'd like to meet with you. Can we meet with you?"
Yeah.
So now I meet here. Now, Sean, again, we're on the phone, but I still like the phone voice here. So now Sean, so because we're so honored, we're inviting you to a plated dinner to honor your honor, your honoredness, your greatness, your humbleness. And it's going to be $1,000 a plate, for you and your wife. And did you want 4 seats or 8? Because most people do 8.
Oh, I guess just 4.
4, and that does include a glossy magazine feature in we'll just call it like Missouri local top doctor jackassery. It's a great magazine.
Oh.
And you're also you'll be on a billboard. We've teamed up with the billboard. It rotates through. You're going to see your face. Oh, hey, don't get too excited. And just because we're honored, we're not, again, we're just honored. Now, did you want to do the 4 tickets, sir?
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, the way it works is it's going to be 4 payments of $4,000 for a total of $16,000. And that's, no, I'm serious. And now they're in the trade shows, and he's going to the trade show, and there ain't nobody there. There is nobody there. To be technical, nobody was at this trade show. I mean, everybody was not at the trade show. No, he's got photos of like him and his wife and his team in an empty booth, and he's got a magazine, and no leads are coming. And he was so excited to tell me. I'm sure you've never encountered this sort of thing, Virginia. Have you, Jenny, have you ever seen a situation where that sort of shamockery advertising has been entered into your world in some capacity?
I've been there. I've been exactly what you're talking about. And I've set up everything and paid employees. And I felt like I was nothing more than a free pin show. The only people that were there were people looking for free pins.
Oh, I know. And it feels terrible. And then you kind of have to sell it to yourself all day. But guys, we're getting our name out there. Sean, can you pass the megaphone back there? Right behind you. Yeah, because I tell people, if you want to get your name out there, what you do is you just run outside and say, "Right, come visit New Concept Healthcare." And people go, "Why are you yelling at me? I'm trying to shop for my groceries." New Concept Healthcare. Get my name out there. You're like, "Is this effective?" Of course it's effective. I'm getting my name out there. And then that leads to buying frisbees, branded frisbees, koozies. You know what I'm saying? Branded pins.
Yes.
And all of a sudden, you buy these things. Sean, you know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now we have to do, and I'm going to show you. This is kind of the back end of one of my companies called Elephant in the Room, and you do a search for eitrlounge.com. And then you go to /staff. I'm not going to give you the password, folks, but you log in, and these are all the systems needed to run the haircut chain. Now, one thing I thought was very interesting is Truth Social, President Trump's social media platform. The other day, they were disclosing, Newsweek was disclosing the revenue of it.
Oh,
and I just want people to know this because I think, I just full disclosure, I'm a very conservative person, but I just want people to see this. This is just something to look at. Truth Social, they declared in their filing that they did $3.3 million of revenue and had $49 million of losses, which, by the way, that's very normal for a tech startup company. And their users are going up. And they're having there's like a reaction in the marketplace. People are actually putting more money in. They're investing. The stock price is going up. But I don't know anybody that I've met in my life. But I've never been a client that can afford to bring in 3.3 million and lose 49 million. So like for my haircut chain, we have 5 locations. We bring in more than 3.3 million, and this just in, we don't spend 49 million. So we have to. We call it a lean startup. You got to keep that thing lean. And so when you go to eitrlounge.com/staff, every document needed to manage the business is here. So the opening checklist for the manager, you click here, boom, this is what the manager has to do to start the day. Everything is documented. And that's kind of where we're at right now with Jenny and Mike's business. We're in the process of building all those checklists.
Yeah.
Sean, what kind of checklists have you built so far?
Oh man, we have a whole page. Their staff page is pretty built out. We're really getting there. I think more right now it's getting, correct me if I'm wrong, we need some managers in there so we can free you guys up from the business. And so we have a lot of the worker level systems. We're just now working on more of how do we get those manager level systems and find those high quality managers.
Now let me give Jenny a little mentor moment here. This will be helpful for you. I'm going to hop on a flight in about 2.5 hours, 3 hours to go to Denver. All right. And I got to go to Denver to meet with the founder of oxyfresh.com. This is a brand we've worked with and helped them to grow to 550 locations now. 550 locations. Okay. And if you type in carpet cleaning quotes, we're the world's highest rated and most reviewed company in the world. Okay. 274,000 reviews. We've been holding this idea in our mind for 15 consecutive years. I've been working on this, Sean, before I met you. We just were grinding, okay?
Yeah.
And the biggest challenge that the locations have is managers, finding good manager. And I tell people this, and it never goes over well, but hopefully eventually it will. I'll keep refining the idea. The kind of person that enjoys conflict, but also likes people is a good manager. Let me try that again. The kind of person that enjoys conflict, but also likes people is a good manager. And I have found it's not so much trainable as it's findable. Yeah. So as an example, where we're getting ready to head out to Denver, Sean, you know my personality type, and you know that I have to pack all this stuff to get ready to go. You saw my suitcase out there?
Yep.
How many times do you think I've followed up with the people involved in the trip so far before leaving?
Oh man, it's probably on your to-do list and you've checked it off like probably at least 5 times today, I would think.
And what kind of things do you think I might have put on my checklist to travel to Denver?
First off, just making sure that the timing is working, making sure that you have all the stuff that you need, making sure that you have double of the stuff that you need in case something gets broken. Making sure that the people who are there know you're coming and when you're going to be there and what to expect from you.
What do you think I'm checking a bag?
Oh yeah, you're probably not checking a bag.
There it
would
is.
Get lost.
All right.
No.
And you think I'm catching a flight a lot earlier than I need to be there?
Way earlier.
Yeah. If I'm having a meeting tomorrow, which I am, I'm leaving today at 12:30.
Yeah.
So this is, but that's the sort of paranoia that makes management possible. So I have literally called. I said, all right, I'm getting on the 12:30 flight. We're meeting tomorrow. I should be in by like 4 o'clock Denver time. Our meeting's tomorrow. If that flight gets delayed and the next one gets delayed and the next one, I'll still be there. I've got backup phone chargers. I have a rule. Everybody going with me. You cannot check a bag. I want to check a bag. Can't check a bag. Why? Because it could get lost. This is real. I'm not I am completely paranoid. And that is the paranoia is what makes the businesses run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I asked my staff every day, guys, elephant in the room. Did you guys get a review? And they say, well, yeah, we got a review. You asked me 10 minutes ago. Okay, well, I'll talk to you in 4 minutes. You heard me say that. I'll say, I'll talk to you in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And I'll do it. And it's a follow-up because I have to make sure that the checklists are being followed, the reviews are being followed. We're a licensed business. People don't know that. Hair care, you're licensed by the state. So we have certain cleanliness standards. We could have random people from the state show up. So we got checklists. And I follow up, and it doesn't bother me to follow up with the same adult who's in their 40s 6 times within a 50-minute span of time. It doesn't bother me. But most people, that bothers them.
Yeah.
And so have you found that, Jenny, that a lot of people don't like to follow up? Have you found that, or is that just something unique to me?
I found that they don't like to follow up. No, people don't like to follow up. It's almost like an awkward communication thing that people try to avoid. Yeah. And it's not necessarily that you're being mean or any type of way, but I feel like that's probably the way that we feel when we continuously follow up, like we're having to step on people's toes, but really we're not. We're just getting the job
My
done.
mentorship moment for you is it's probably the same feeling you have when you ask for reviews.
Yeah.
It's probably the same. So, and I'm just saying, and if you, Mike, did you ever play football or a sport of some kind?
Yeah, I used to play soccer.
Okay, soccer. So like when what position did you play?
Goalkeeper.
Goalkeeper. Okay. So this is a great example. I didn't know you were a goalkeeper, but when you're a goalkeeper and someone's kicking that ball at you fast, I mean, just the ball's coming in there. I mean, people can really kick a soccer ball fast. Yeah. There are certain people that want to be a goalkeeper, but they kind of avoid the ball. They try to hide from it. They flinch. You know what I'm talking about? But
Yeah.
you actually would lunge into it. Am I correct?
Right.
I mean, you're aggressive, right? I mean, you're like, for some reason, you enjoyed it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
I enjoy getting 100-mile-an-hour fastball.
But did you ever see somebody who tried to be a goalie? I'm not looking for a name here, but somebody who would kind of hide from the ball.
Yeah.
This is the same thing for management. Like as a manager, you have to sort of seek out conflict, but like people. So I'll say things like, okay, hey, it's 8:00. I need to make sure you put out the flags in front of the elephant in the room store today, Mr. Manager. Put out the flags that draw the attention by the road. Put out the flags. And I'm going to call you in 10 minutes to follow up. Call them in 10 minutes. Are the flags up? Can you send me a picture? They're like, do you not trust me? Absolutely not. I trust nobody. Go ahead and send them. And then I'll call them back 30 minutes later. Hey, did you get Google reviews? Yeah, we got one Google review. You know, the quote is 10. Yeah, I'll call you back in 2 minutes. Call them back. Hey, did you get a review? It's been 2 minutes. I know. Oh, hey, I'll tell you what. I'll call you back in an hour. And my whole day is just following up. And then over time, the culture happens where people go, he's going to follow up. And now the people that like the follow-up like to work there, and it's become a great thing. And that's where we're kind of at right now, I think, is we're getting into the follow-up phase. Do you have call recording in place there, Mike? Do you have the call recording for quality assurance installed yet?
Yes, we do.
And are you learning some things?
Yes. It is very hard to train people on recording scripts.
Yeah. Okay, that's something we got to do. Now we're just going through the workflow. And then the wowing the customers. What Sean is saying is that your patients are consistently wowed. Now, I don't know if that's because Sean is your hype man or if that's a real thing, but it seems like people are actually wowing. They're being wowed right now. People, when they come in, if you look at the workflow, they buy something right here. We have to wow them. You've got to create that wow moment. And again, if you want to download this diagram, folks, just go to thrivetimeshow.com/millionaire, thrivetimeshow.com/millionaire. You can download it from my newest book called A Millionaire's Guide to Becoming Sustainably Rich. You got to create that wow moment. I mean, amidst the checklists and the tracking, at some point here, you've got to create a moment that wows people where they go, wow. So I'm trying to get everybody's creative juices flowing here. So if you have a restaurant, I work with a restaurant in Florida right now, a great restaurant. They say, welcome in. Is it your first time? They say, yeah, it's my first time. Oh, well, hey, you get free appetizers on us today and one free adult beverage. Welcome in. And that every time it's that, wow. And then when you come back later and ask for a review or, hey, what entree do you want? Guess what? People become generous with how they buy. Another example, I work with an auto auction. The auto auction says your first time that you buy from the auto auction, you only have to pay $1 more than the actual cost of the vehicle, just to wow people, to get that going. I happen to work with a carpet cleaning business. And what they do is they say, hey, the first time we clean your carpet, we'll beat any competitor's price, and it will be at least half off of our normal price. And they go, okay, great. You got to have that wow moment. What are you guys doing, Jenny, to wow your customers there?
Well, there are things that we do. We will oftentimes give samples of certain things because we know they work. We have a lot of supplement sales that we do. Again, the dollar consult is a wow moment because we will spend some, 10 to 15 minutes explaining how we're different. And I feel like they're wowed because of that. Also, our services are so much different. We spend time in the room with our patients. We listen to them. They're not just a number. And a lot of times people have never experienced that. So there's a lot of wow moments, I think, for all of our patients.
Now, I understand that 59% of your customers are now from word of mouth. Is that accurate?
Yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah, well, and with the customer acquisitions cost too, I've heard you say this before, Clay, that if you're advertising and you're doing a good job wowing at the same time, they compound each other, and you'll end up having 2 to 3 word of mouth referrals from those patients that are wowed for every one lead you have from advertising. We measured and tracked that they had this last year, for every dollar they spent on advertising, they were able to bring back in $4.61. So that's a 461% return on their marketing investment.
It's incredible stuff. And the great news is, as we build these systems, if you guys ever wanted to franchise or license or open up multiple locations, if done properly, you should be able to scale it. It should be very repeatable, very duplicatable. Other things you guys have done, you've implemented a database to keep track of your customers. You're gathering objective video reviews. You guys are really checking all the boxes. I'd like for you, if you can, Jenny, here, to give a word of encouragement for any of our listeners out there that are a little bit on the fence right now, and they're going, I have thought about scheduling a free consultation, but I don't know. I hear it's $1,700 a month, and can you maybe explain your thoughts, what you'd say to anybody who's a friend of yours or family that asks you about the value about the business consulting?
Oh, well, I would say that the $1,700 a month is an excuse not to have someone to mentor you. It's kind of like being in a gym when you need a trainer. We're not always perfect, and business owning is not easy, and you need a mentor. I've never missed the $1,700 a month, even when I was only 6 months in when we started with you guys. I've never even considered it a loss. It was scary at first to make that, but that wasn't an excuse. I knew I needed someone to guide me through this, and you guys have guided us through this, through the entire thing, through employees, through income, through spending, through all of it. And we come through so many problems. There are a lot of problems that are established when you have a business. I mean, you become very overwhelmed very fast, and you need somebody that you can call who's successful, who's been there, that says, you're not crazy. This happens to all of us. Here's what you do about it. It's been the best decision that we've made.
Final question I have here for you, as far as having a one-stop shop. Years ago, I hired a business consultant who was great. And he would say things like, and I'm not ripping him, I'm just telling you what would happen. He would say, Clay, you got to work on your business and not in it. I'm going, that's true. He goes, you got to delegate to elevate. That's true. Clay, your website is not optimized. And I'm going, this is great. Fresh perspective. I go, Bruce, could you help me optimize? No, I don't optimize. Could you help me work on it? No. Could you help me make a checklist? No. Do you help me with the print pieces that I need to make? No. Can you make a video? No. Do you help me with my online ads? No. Clay, and he was kind of he's an Northeastern American guy. And he used to say, Clay, baby, let me tell you what. I don't make print pieces. What am I, a print piece guy? I'm not a web guy. We know what I am. I'm a work on the business guy. You got to find a good web guy. So every meeting we would have would result in me having to find another vendor to pay another $8,000 to build the website, $4,000 to make the video, $5,000 to do. So every time he would give a recommendation, it would lead to another cost. Can you maybe explain the value of having a flat monthly fee?
Yeah, I don't have to ever worry about it. I know if I need the website updated, it's a text away. I know if I'm having trouble with an employee, it's a text away. I know if I need financial advice, it's a text away. And again, we meet every single week, and all our questions are answered, and we're held accountable to what we need to be held accountable for. So it really works for us.
Jenny and Mike, thank you guys for your time so much. I really do value your time. I appreciate you guys being here today. And on part 2 of today's show, we're going to tee up another success story because we want people to know it is possible, despite the financial jackassery plaguing our nation right now. It is possible to become successful, and you guys are a living example of it. Thank you guys for bringing your baby on the show. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
Thanks.
Whoa. JT, do you know what time it is?
4:10.
It's Tebow time in Tulsa, Jerusalem, baby. Tim Tebow is coming to Tulsa, Oklahoma, June 27th and 28th. We've been doing business conferences here since 2005. I've been hosting business conferences since 2005. What year were you born?
1995.
Dude, I've been hosting business conferences since you were 10 years old, but I've never had the 2-time Heisman Award winning Tim Tebow come present. And a lot of people, have followed Tim Tebow's football career on the field and off the field. And off the field, the guy's been just as successful as he has been on the field. Now, the big question is, JT, how does he do it?
Well, they're going to have to come and find out because I don't know.
Well, I'm just saying, Tim Tebow's going to teach us how he organizes his day, how he organizes his life, how he's proactive with his faith, his family, his finances. He's going to walk us through his mindset that he brings into the gym, into business. It is going to be a blasty blast in Tulsa, Jerusalem. Also, this is the first Thrive Time Show event that we've had where we're going to have a man who has built a $100 million net worth.
Wow.
Who'll be presenting. Now, we've had a couple presenters that have had $1 billion net worth in some like real estate sort of things.
Yeah.
But this is the first time we've had a guy who's built a service business, and he's built over $100 million net worth in the service business. It's the yacht driving, multi-state living guru of franchising. Peter Taunton will be in the house. This is the founder of Snap Fitness, the guy behind 9 Round Boxing. He's going to be here in Tulsa, Jerusalem, Oklahoma, June 27th and 28th. JT, why should everybody want to hear what Peter Taunton has to say?
Oh, because he's incredible. He's just a fountain of knowledge. He is awesome. He has inspired me listening to him talk. And not only that, he also he practices what he teaches. So he's a real teacher. He's not a fake teacher like business school teachers. So you got to come learn from him.
Also, let me tell you this, folks. I don't want to get this wrong, because if I get it wrong, someone's going to say, you screwed that up, buddy. So Michael Levine, this is Michael Levine. He's going to be coming. You say, who's Michael Levine? I don't want to get this wrong. This is the PR consultant of choice for Michael Jackson, for Prince, for Nike, for Charlton Heston, for Nancy Kerrigan, 34 Grammy Award winners, 43 New York Times best-selling authors he's represented, including pretty much everybody you know who's been a super celebrity. This is Michael Levine, a good friend of mine. He's going to come and talk to you about personal branding and the mindset needed to be super successful. The lineup will continue to grow. We have hit Christian recording artist Colton Dixon in the house. Now, people say, Colton Dixon's in the house? Yes, Colton Dixon's in the house. So if you like top 40 Christian music, Colton Dixon's going to be in the house performing. The lineup will continue to grow each and every day. We're going to add more and more speakers to this all-star lineup. But I encourage everybody out there today, get those tickets today. Go to thrivetimeshow.com. Again, that's thrivetimeshow.com. And some people might be saying, well, how do I do it? What do I do? How does it work? You just go to thrivetimeshow.com. Let's go there now. We're feeling the flow. We're going to thrivetimeshow.com. Again, you just go to thrivetimeshow.com. You click on the business conferences button, and you click on the request tickets button right there. The way I do our conferences is we tell people it's $250 to get a ticket.
Yep.
Or whatever price that you can afford. And the reason why I do that is I grew up without money. JT, you're in the process of building a super successful company. Did you start out with $1 million in the bank account?
No, I did not. Nope, did not get any loans, nothing like that. Did not get an inheritance from parents or anything like that. I had to work for it, and I'm super grateful. I came to a business conference. That's actually how I met you, met Peter Taunton. I met all these people.
So if you're out there today and you want to come to our workshop, again, you just got to go to thrivetimeshow.com. You might say, well, when's it going to be? June 27th and 28th. You might say, well, who's speaking? We already covered that. You might say, where's it going to be? It's going to be in Tulsa, Jerusalem, Oklahoma. And someone says, Tulsa, Jerusalem. I'm really trying to rebrand Tulsa as Tulsa, Jerusalem, sort of like the Jerusalem of America. But if you type in Thrive Time Show and Jinx, you can get a sneak peek or a look at our office facility. This is what it looks like. This is where you're headed. It's going to be a blasty blast. You can look inside, see the facility. We're going to have hundreds of entrepreneurs here. It is going to be packed. Now, for this particular event, folks, the seating is always limited because my facility isn't a limitless convention center. You're coming to my actual home office, and so it's going to be packed. So when? June 27th and 28th. Who? You're going to come. Who? You? I'm talking to you. You can just get your tickets right now at thrivetimeshow.com. And again, you can name your price. We tell people it's $250 or whatever price you can afford. And we do have some select VIP tickets, which gives you an access to meet some of the speakers and those sorts of things. And those tickets are $500. It's a 2-day interactive business workshop, over 20 hours of business training. We're going to give you a copy of my newest book, The Millionaire's Guide to Becoming Sustainably Rich. You're going to leave with a workbook. You're going to leave with everything you need to know to start and grow a super successful company. It's practical, it's actionable, and it's Tebow time right here in Tulsa, Jerusalem. Get those tickets today at thrivetimeshow.com. Again, that's thrivetimeshow.com.
Hello, I'm Michael Levine, and I'm talking to you right now from the center of Hollywood, California, where I have represented over the last 35 years 58 Academy Award winners, 34 Grammy Award winners, 43 New York Times bestsellers. I've represented a lot of major stars, and I've worked with a lot of major companies. And I think I've learned a few things about what makes them work and what makes them not work. Now, why would a man living in Hollywood, California, in the beautiful sunny weather of LA, come to Tulsa? Because last year I did it, and it was damn exciting. Clay Clark has put together an exceptional presentation, really life-changing, and I'm looking forward to seeing you then. I'm Michael Levine. I'll see you in Tulsa.
James, did I tell you my good friend John Lee Dumas is also joining us at the in-person 2-day interactive Thrive Time Show Business Workshop? That Tim Tebow and that Michael Levine will be at. Have I told you this?
You have not told me that.
Oh, he's coming all the way from Puerto Rico. This is John Lee Dumas, the host of the chart-topping EOFire.com podcast. He's absolutely a living legend. This guy started a podcast after wrapping up his service in the United States military, and he started recording this podcast daily in his home. to the point where he started interviewing big-time folks like Gary Vaynerchuk, like Tony Robbins, and he just kept interviewing bigger and bigger names, putting out shows day after day. And now he is the legendary host of the EO Fire podcast, and he's traveling all the way from Puerto Rico to Tulsa, Oklahoma to attend the in-person June 27th and 28th Thrive Time Show 2-day interactive business workshop. If you're out there today, folks, you've ever wanted to grow a podcast, a broadcast, you want to improve your marketing, if you've ever wanted to improve your marketing, your branding, if you've ever wanted to increase your sales, you want to come to the 2-day interactive June 27th and 28th Thrive Time Show Business Workshop featuring Tim Tebow, Michael Levine, John Lee Dumas, and countless big-time, super successful entrepreneurs. It's going to be life-changing. Get your tickets right now at thrivetimeshow.com. James, what website is that?
thrivetimeshow.com.
James, one more time with more enthusiasm.
thrivetimeshow.com.
Everything rides on tonight. Even if I got 3 strikes, I'ma go for it. This moment, we own it. I'm not to be played with because it could get dangerous. See these people I ride with. This moment, we own it.
Thrive Time Show 2-day interactive business workshops are the world's highest rated and most reviewed business workshops because we teach you what you need to know to grow.
You can learn the proven 13-point business systems that Dr. Zellner and I have used over and over to start and grow successful companies. I mean, we get into the specific steps on what you need to do to optimize your website. We're going to teach you how to fix your conversion rate. We're going to teach you how to do a social media marketing campaign that works. How do you raise capital? How do you get a small business loan? We teach you everything you need to know here during a 2-day, 15-hour workshop. It's all here for you. You work every day in your business, but for 2 days you can escape and work on your business and build these proven systems so now you can have a successful company that will produce both the time freedom and the financial freedom that you deserve. You're going to leave energized, motivated, but you're also going to leave empowered. The reason why I've built these workshops is because as an entrepreneur, I always wish that I had this. And because there wasn't anything like this, I would go to these motivational seminars, no money down, real estate, Ponzi scheme, get motivated seminars, and they would never teach me anything. It was like you went there and you paid for the big chocolate Easter bunny, but inside of it, it was a hollow nothingness. And I wanted the knowledge, and they're like, oh, but we'll teach you the knowledge after our next workshop. And the great thing is we have nothing to upsell. At every workshop, we teach you what you need to know. There's no one in the back of the room trying to sell you some next big get-rich-quick, walk-on-hot coals product. It's literally, we teach you the brass tacks, the specific stuff that you need to know to learn how to start and grow a business. And I encourage you to not believe what I'm saying, and I want you to Google the Z66 auto auction. I want you to Google elephant in the room. Look at Robert Zellner and Associates. Look them up and say, are they successful because they're geniuses, or are they successful because they have a proven system? When you do that research, you will discover that the same systems that we use in our own business can be used in your business. Come to Tulsa, book a ticket, and I guarantee you it's going to be the best business workshop ever, and we'll even give you your money back if you don't love it. We've built this facility for you, and we're excited to see you.
And now you may be thinking, what does it actually cost to attend an in-person 2-day interactive Thrive Time Show business workshop? Well, good news. The tickets are $250 or whatever price that you can afford. What? Yes, they're $250 or whatever price you can afford. I grew up without money, and I know what it's like to live without money. So if you're out there today and you want to attend our in-person 2-day interactive business workshop, all you got to do is go to thrivetimeshow.com to request those tickets. And if you can't afford $250, we have scholarship pricing available to make it affordable for you.
I learned at the Academy in Kings Point in New York. Acta non verba. Watch what a person does, not what they say. Whoa.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Robert Kiyosaki, the Rich Dad Radio Show. Today I'm broadcasting from Phoenix, Arizona, not Scottsdale, Arizona. They're close, but they're completely different worlds. And we have a special guest today. Definition of intelligence is if you agree with me, you're intelligent. And so this gentleman is very intelligent. I've done this show before also, but very seldom do you find somebody who lines up on all counts. And it's a Mr. Clay Clark. He's a friend of a good friend, Eric Trump. But we're also talking about money, bricks, and how screwed up the world can get in a few and a half hours. So Clay Clark is a very intelligent man, and there's so many ways we could take this thing. But I thought, since you and Eric are close, Trump, what were you saying about what Trump can't, what Donald, who's my age, and I can say or cannot say?
Well, I have to, first of all, I have to honor you, sir. I want to show you what I did to one of your books here. There's a guy by the name of Jeremy Thorne, who was my boss at the time. I was 19 years old, working at Faith Highway. I had a job at Applebee's, Target, and DirecTV. And he said, have you read this book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad? And I said, no. And my father, may he rest in peace, he didn't know these financial principles. So I started reading all of your books and really devouring your books. And I went from being an employee to self-employed, to the business owner, to the investor. And I owe a lot of that to you. And I just wanted to take a moment to tell you, thank you so much for allowing me to achieve success. And then I'll tell you all about Eric Trump. But I just want to tell you, thank you, sir, for changing my life.
But not only that, Clay, thank you, but you become an influencer. More than anything else, you've evolved into an influencer where your word has more and more power. So that's why I congratulate you on becoming. Because as you know, there's a lot of fake influencers out there too, or bad influencers.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm glad you and I agree so much, and thanks for reading my books.
Yeah.
That's the greatest thrill for me today. Not a thrill, but recognition is when people, young men especially, come up and say, I read your book, changed my life. I'm doing this, I'm doing this, I'm doing this.
I learned at the Academy, Kings Point in New York, acta non verba. Watch what a person does, not what they say.
Whoa! Hey, I'm Ryan Wimpy. I'm originally from Tulsa, born and raised here. I went to a small private liberal arts college and got a degree in business. And I didn't learn anything like they're teaching here. I didn't learn linear workflows. I learned stuff that I am not using and I haven't been using for the last 9 years. So what they're teaching here is actually way better than what I got at business school. And I went what was actually ranked as a very good business school. The linear workflow for us and getting everything out on paper and documented is really important. Like we have workflows that are kind of all over the place, so having linear workflow and seeing that mapped out on multiple different boards is pretty awesome. That's really helpful for me. The atmosphere here is awesome. I definitely just stared at the walls, figuring out how to make my facility look like this place. This place rocks. It's invigorating. The walls are super, it's just very cool. The atmosphere is cool. The people are nice. It's a pretty cool place to be. Very good learning atmosphere. I literally want to model it and steal everything that's here at this facility and basically create it just on our business side.
Once I saw what they were doing, I knew I had to get here at the conference. This is probably the best conference or seminar I've ever been to in over 30 years in business.
You're not bored. You're awake, alive the whole time. It's not pushy. They don't try to sell you a bunch of things.
I was looking to learn how to just get control of my life, my schedule, and just get control of the business.
Planning your time, breaking it all down, making time for the F6 in your life, and just really implementing it and sticking with the program.
It's really lively. They're pretty friendly, helpful, and very welcoming.
I attended a conference a couple months back, and it was really the best business conference I've ever attended.
At the workshop, I learned a lot about time management, really prioritizing what's the most important.
Biggest takeaways are, you want to take a step-by-step approach to your business. Whether it's marketing, what are those 3 marketing tools that you want to use, to human resources.
Some of the most successful people and successful businesses in this town, their owners were here today because they wanted to know more from Clay, and I found that to be kind of fascinating.
The most valuable thing that I've learned is diligence, that businesses don't change overnight. It takes time and effort, and you got to go through the ups and downs of getting it to where you want to go.
He actually gives you the roadmap out. I was stuck, didn't know what to do, and he gave me the roadmap out step by step.
We've set up systems in the business that make my life much easier, allow me some time freedom.
Here you can ask any question you want. They guarantee it'll be answered.
This conference motivates me and also give me a lot of knowledge and tools.
It's up to you to do it. Everybody can do these things. They're
that everybody knows, but if you don't do it, nobody else is going to do it for you.
I can see the marketing working, and it's just an approach that makes sense.
Probably the most notable thing is just the income increase that we've had.
Everyone's super fun, it's super motivating. I've been here before, but I'm back again because it motivates me.
Your competition's going to come eventually, or try to pick up these tactics. So you better, if you don't, somebody else will.
I'm Rachel with Tip Top Canine, and we just want to give a huge thank you to Clay and Vanessa Clark.
Hey guys, I'm Ryan with Tip Top Canine. Just want to say a big thank you to Thrive 15. Thank you to Make Your Life Epic. We love you guys, we appreciate you, and really just appreciate how far you've taken us.
This is our old house, right? This is where we used to live a few years ago. This is our old neighborhood. See? It's nice, right?
So this is my old van and our old school marketing, and this is our old team. And by team, I mean it's me and another guy.
This is our new house with our new neighborhood.
This is our new van with our new marketing, and this is our new team. We went from 4 to 14, and I took this beautiful photo. We worked with several different business coaches in the past, and they were all about helping Ryan sell better and just teaching sales, which is awesome, but Ryan is a really great salesman. So we didn't need that. We needed somebody to help us get everything that was in his head out into systems, into manuals and scripts, and actually build a team. So now that we have systems in place, we've gone from 1 to 10 locations in only a year.
In October 2016, we grossed 13 grand for the whole month. Right now it's 2018, the month of October. It's only the 22nd. We've already grossed a little over 50 grand for the whole month, and we still have time to go. We're just thankful for you, thankful for Thrive and your mentorship, and we're really thankful that you guys have helped us to grow a business that we run now instead of the business running us. Just thank you times 1,000.
So we really just want to thank you, Clay, and thank you, Vanessa, for everything you've done, everything you've helped us with. We love you guys.
If you decide to not attend the Thrive Time workshop, you're missing out on a great opportunity.
The atmosphere of Clay's office is very lively. You can feel the energy as soon as you walk through the door, and it really got me and my team very excited.
If you decide not to come, you're missing out on an opportunity to grow your business, bottom line.
Love the environment. I love the way that Clay presents and teaches. It's a way that not only allows me to comprehend what's going on, but he explains it in a way to where it just makes sense.
The SEO optimization, branding, marketing. I've learned more in the last 2 days than I have the entire 4 years of college.
The most valuable thing that I've learned, marketing is key. Marketing is everything.
Making sure that you're branded accurately and clearly. How to grow a business using Google reviews, and then just how to optimize our name through our website also.
Helpful with a lot of marketing, search engine optimization, helping us really rank high in Google.
The biggest thing I needed to learn was how to build my foundation, how to systemize everything and optimize everything, build my SEO.
How to become more organized, more efficient.
How to make sure the business is really there to serve me as opposed to me constantly being there for the business.
New ways of advertising my business, as well as recruiting new employees.
Group interviews, number one. Before we felt like we were held hostage by our employees. Group interviews has completely eliminated that because you're able to really find the people that would really be the best fit.
Hands-on how to hire people, how to deal with human resources, a lot about marketing, and overall just how to structure the business, how it works for me, and also then how that can translate into working better for my clients.
The most valuable thing I've learned here is time management.
I like the 1 hour of doing your business is real critical if I'm going to grow and change.
Clay really teaches you how to navigate through those things and not only find freedom, but find your purpose in your business and find the purposes for all those other people that directly affect your business as well.
Everybody.
Everyone
Everyone needs to attend the conference because you get an opportunity to see that it's real.